Welcome to the Annestasis Podcast with Stacey Saed. We are so excited that you are here. Our purpose is to look at life transformation that happens when people go through a relocation. We are going to listen to stories and life experiences to talk about the heart of a physical move. Welcome. Good morning, my friends. You may be wondering, why do this podcast about relocation, and what on earth does that have to do with a life transformation? So let me unpack that a little bit. First of all, the name. I get a lot of questions about the name. The word Annestasis literally comes from the Greek word for resurrection. And the reason I know this is because my name is Stacey. So Stacey is a nickname for the longer word Annastasis or Anastasia. It's Greek. And it means rebirth, to be reborn again. And sometimes in literal terms, it can mean resurrection. And I love that imagery, and I'll tell you why. Because if we take it to the Christendom, and I don't want, if you know anything about Christianity and the story of Jesus, then you know that there's that story of an execution, essentially, a very hard death. And then you watch a community come around this individual who in Christendom we consider a God, Jesus. And what was modeled is that someone that is fully God, that could have taken care of everything on their own, 100%, did not, and chose to be ministered to in community. So what's cool, I think, about that in that story is the reality that we are never supposed to do these things alone. So then there's a new life, there's a rebirth, and all of it had to happen. Like, I want to fast forward to the new life. I don't know about you, but I would like to bypass steps A and B and just let's roll into C. I want the new house. I want the new life. I want it all there. But unfortunately, what has to happen is there's got to be a death. There's got to be something that makes someone want to move or have to move. And we'll look into those stories, like what was the season of life change that caused this? And then what I do professionally is we help people in that what I call time in the tomb, or the really tough spot, which is where decisions have to be made, boxes have to be packed. I mean, all those real logistics. And I would love to stay in that space because it makes a lot of sense with my company. But I'll tell you something. What my heart is all about is watching the rebirth, standing next to someone in really a lot of chaos and a lot of fear and a lot of unknowns, promising them, I've been on the other side of this. This is fixing to get good. This is fixing to get really good. And I've just seen it over and over and over again in my professional life, and I've absolutely seen it in my personal life. So that's the heart behind this Annestasis podcast. It's what emotionally, spiritually, in addition to physically, happens to us when we move. So you think it's a basic situation. Let's just talk about something simple. A spring cleaning in an attic. I'm just going to give you an example. That's a pretty basic thing. We all want to do it. We all have to do it. We all need to do it. We'd love to pay somebody a goo-gob of money and never have to do it and just let them take care of it. And yet it requires our participation. Some people can hire people like my company to do it, and some people do it on their own. But this is the deal. Decisions need to be made. Nobody is going to empty out an attic and do all that hot work and then pile every bit of junk that they just took out of it and put it right back in it. Nobody's going to do that. No one wants to do that. You've done the work. So the deal is that there has been some reason why a cleaning, a cleansing, an unloading needs to happen. So everybody's going to put on their shorts and throw their hair up in a chip clip, and we are doing it. So we're going to empty out the contents of an attic. And the story that comes to mind is I've got a fantastic uncle, and just as a human being, one of the most fastidious people I have ever met. And it is not unusual that for absolutely no reason under the sun, they decided to do a 40-year cleanse on their attic. This is just how they are. As my uncle is a person and my aunt uncle is a couple. This is how they roll. So several weeks happened of giveaway purging, handing off to people. The conversation just kept going and going. And they did all the good things. They pulled things apart. They reloaded. They put into tubs. They clearly labeled and put everything back in there. And my uncle is regaling me with this story and telling me all about it. But I was already in this business, and I asked him, and I said, this is going to seem like a random question. How are you breathing? How are you breathing now that it's over? And he stopped for a minute. And I'm sure in his mind he was thinking, why does Stacey ask me crap like this? And because I do. And he thought about it for a minute. He said, I can breathe a lot deeper and a lot better. And that's, to me, it's so counterintuitive. Why would a clean and organized and well-appointed attic, 3 stories up, by the way, the man is on the ground floor. He's not up there. He's not hanging out up there. It's not where his new home office is. He's in the kitchen. Why would that space up there affect the way the man can breathe today? Because there is something in it. There is something about us attached to our things, attached to unloading things, that creates a deeper breath, a new life. And that's just an example of somebody that is not relocating per se, but they're just realigning their home. Another example is, let's talk about the new life piece, because that's, to me, the heart of moving. What I see in this industry is there's lots and tips and tricks and TikToks and all kinds of things about how to organize well, how to pack well. You can Pinterest yourself all night long and learn how to pack a box. And frankly, it'll be better than me. And I'm probably looking up the same thing that you are too. So it's not the magic about the box or the wrapping or all of that that creates new life at all. And I think about myself and how it came to pass that I'm actually starting this company. The deal is that I was on the backside of an extremely painful divorce. I have moved as an adult an embarrassing amount of time, like 18 or 19 times. I am spoken about within my family in hushed whispers about how crazy I am because I've moved so often. When I send somebody a moving announcement, they are laughing. Like one of them even said, those who, what is that saying? All who wander are not lost. Like that was the top of one of my moving announcements. And it all seemed pretty random at the time until it became time for me to step into what I believe is my purpose, which is helping others through this process. Then all of a sudden I look like a genius. So I'm going back to tell everybody, that's the deal. But let's talk about new life. So I'm post-divorce. I am separating. I am moving almost adult children, older teen children. I call it the boomerang phase, people that keep coming back and forth. And it's a 5-person move anyway into a new space. I want it done and over with so many times I don't sleep at night. Like I just keep rolling. 36 hours of the worst experience of your life and then we're done. Pictures hung, we're up. This time didn't flow that way because there was so much emotional baggage tied to it. I was having a hard time even breathing, to be honest with you. And I heard this YouTube video, Steve Harvey. If you ever listen to Steve Harvey, I am one of your biggest fans. He said, you need to do the thing that you do that you don't even know that you do. And all of a sudden I realized I was in the middle of it. Moving, unpacking, offloading, taking things to charity, just lightening my load, appointing different bedrooms and hanging pictures and doing all those things. I've done it so many times I can do it in my sleep. And what does this have to do with new life? Well, the deal is that this is the place, the death of a marriage, the tomb of being in a house loaded with boxes, and the expectation that everyone needed to be unpacked and settled so that we could catch our breath from a painful life season and then get on with our life. There it was. And I realized as I was moving through this very difficult time that not only was I doing it, but I could help others do it. And my life was reborn right there in that place. Did it have anything to do with the move and the physical relocation? It had everything to do with that. If I had all the same dynamics, was still in the same place of an unhappy marriage, an unhappy life, and a toxic environment, would my life's purpose have been revealed? And the answer is no. I got a new life just by doing the process that I help other people through. And this is where I have found it to be the most impactful, amazing, miraculous, where I literally sit witness and watch it happen, is in the senior adult community, because it's affecting everybody. It's affecting the kids. It's affecting the seniors. It's affecting the lifestyle choices, what is happening, and I get to see it all the time. And this is the deal. That's when, to me, it's a healthcare issue. So you've got a senior in a home that has got 50 plus years of travel and art and wonderful experience and coffee table books and paintings that have meaning, and that little figurine that came from that European trip they saved up for. It's just a whole life that is being lived in these possessions. And so what is happening is, because of age, because of health, because of memory issues, that situation can no longer happen. And you've got a human being that is being asked to let go of things that have meant the world to them, and have greeted them in the morning over their coffee, and have been in that living room as they walk past for years and years and years. And when we come beside each other and comfort the child and comfort the parent and create a peaceful atmosphere, then things can be let go of, and someone can move into a space that is healthier, better, and less taxing emotionally. So take the same situation that I was in, my uncle was in. Physically, our things create a heaviness around our breath and our heart. And for a senior adult, it can be absolutely dangerous. There are fall issues. There are stair issues. There's all kinds of things that space is just no longer healthy. Can that individual do it by themselves? Nope, not a bit. Is it hard on everyone involved watching somebody pare down? It sounds so easy to declutter, doesn't it? But there's such an emotional toll on someone. But this is what I've seen. When we stand next to a family, when we stand and companion a family through that process, I have seen that senior in the lobbies of these beautiful palaces. And can we just talk about that for a minute? These places are palaces. Like, I'm 55 and I cannot wait to get there. Like, what are we kicking against? Somebody cook 3 meals for me a day and tell me to go to yoga at 9 a.m. and hear me gripe about that. I am in. And what I see is that once they're there, that's their reality. They've got a lot less stuff to worry about. They're not worried when a storm happens because they're thinking about the air conditioning unit or the driveway or the tree that just fell. Their mind is free to enjoy the fruits of their labor, but the price to be paid is 4 bedrooms full of stuff they don't use anymore, and an attic full of memories that they just can't deal with anymore. And once that high price is paid, then boy, the living begins. They can fuss about how the fish was cooked when a chef prepared it and brought it to their table that night. They get that the privilege of living a life of rest and relaxation and joy and community. But the price is high. It's on the other side of a relocation. So there's so many good stories. I have encountered amazing people on this journey, and I can't wait until we can all sit down with them and listen to, hey, how did that move to a new apartment change your life? What was your rebirth because you up and sold all the furniture that you had when you were raising kids and you started fresh? We're all wanting that dream. And I want you and me and all of us to just be inspired by these stories. Thank you for coming on board with Annestasis. Thank you for listening to the stories of transformation that happened during relocation. This is going to be an amazing ride, and I can't wait to share it with you. Thank you for joining us. You can subscribe and find us at Annestasis, which is spelled ANNESTASIS.com. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, and apparently we're on YouTube. So when I get all that figured out, we are going to have a great time. Have a great day, and thanks for joining.